What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Project Ozone 3 Kappa mode. So guys, this episode, I think we're going to continue on our progress trying to make this crystal matrix ingot. This doesn't seem like it's going to be too terribly difficult. However, it does require a bunch of these runes of summer, 6 in fact per ingot, and we're going to need 9 of these ingots in order to make a block so we can animate it and start spawning in a whole bunch of these. Yeah, last episode we ended up making the crystal teen ingots here, and then we made a block of those, and we spawned in a whole bunch of these things, and we saw how ridiculous this recipe was before, so we never wanted to craft that again. This is almost the same, not quite as bad, but these runes of summer, though, these are going to be kind of a thing that we're going to have to deal with. We do have some of them, Rune of Summer. We have 27, in fact, already. And this is from killing the Guardian of Gaia so many times previously. But I think we needed like 56 of them, or I don't know, something like that. Anyway, we need quite a bit. We're about halfway to where we need to be. Anyway, so we can start looking at this recipe here. We need to put 9 of every item in every slot in order to make 9 of these ingots here, right? So we're going to need 36 draconic cores, for instance. Draconic core, easy. There's 32. There's 36. We're good to go on that. We need to get ourselves a bunch of these empowered and nori crystals, and these all have EMC. Empowered and nori. Well, how many of the stacks of those do we need? We need 5 stacks of 9. So where are we at? That'd be what, 45, I think, right? Oh my goodness, I had it and then I messed it all up. Okay, yeah, so there is 5 stacks of 9, so we got that going on. Oh, actually, I thought there was only 4 stacks of these draconic cores. There's 6 stacks of those. Yep, we need 18 more draconic cores. My mistake. There we go. Now we got all of the ones that we need. Let's see. So volcanic ingot. This is a thing that we don't have. So volcanic ingot comes from volcanic rock. Is there another way to make this? No. And the volcanic rock can be found on Jupiter and Io. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I think it's Io. So volcanic. Yeah, we don't have volcanic rock, but we do have a warp to Jupiter, and I think we are all set to warp to Jupiter. So let's go do that real quick. I can put the thing in the right spot. So Jupiter, boop. Look at that. With one right click, we are here on Jupiter. Okay, I thought I couldn't fly for some reason. So we are looking for volcanic rock. It's like a dark material, and I am not seeing anything that looks like dark volcanic rock. Maybe it's underground. Oop, that lightning though. Jupiter stone. I guess we could eat these carrots. We could have night vision, right? Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that looks like volcanic rock, so I am not sure. Is it like we put water on this liquid magma? Nope, that just destroys the liquid magma. Or it kind of like pushes it out of the way. Well, this is kind of interesting. I guess I'm going to fly around for a little bit, see if I can find volcanic rock, and I'll bring you guys back when we come across some. Okay, well, I found one piece of volcanic rock. I saw this lava lake here, and then I saw this spaceship, and I was looking at this and like, is that it? No, that's a solid meteoric iron. And I looked, and it's like, oh, here is one lonely block. Can we mine this? Okay, so we got 1 volcanic rock. Well, that is EMC, so I guess that's all we need. There is 2 of them here. Man, if we didn't have access to EMC, this would get quite annoying. Yeah, I have been taking a look at my armor while I'm here. Just being on Jupiter is having an effect on my armor. Is that more of the volcanic rock right here? It looks like, right? Okay, so it is kind of scarce, but you can find it, I suppose, along the edges of these magma pools or lakes or whatever on Jupiter. I wonder if it's more available on Io or not, but we don't really need to go to Jupiter's moon, so I don't think we're going to do that. Let's just go ahead and get out of here before my armor breaks. All right, so we have 2 of the volcanic rocks and we can EMC them. So let's just put those right here. And I think the ingots were EMCable as well. So let's do one of those and let's grab that. volcanic right there. Yeah, this guy, the volcanic ingot. That's what we're looking for. And then we learned that. Okay, so volcanic ingot, there's a full stack, and we are pretty much good to go on that. Cool. All right, so we don't need any of that Jupiter stuff. Beyond that, empowered and nori. We have the empowered and nori. Diamond lattice, that's another one that we didn't have. Diamond lattice. So diamond lattice is just 5 diamonds per item. Yeah, a little expensive, I guess. So it's EMCable, which is fantastic. So now we have a bunch of those. Easy, easy. Cyan matter, we've been collecting those. So we have 25,000 of them. Yep, that's a lot of EMC that we have right there from those guys. And I think, yeah, the crystalline ingots, that's another thing. We need to get the ingots out of those. And I don't think we ever set up a recipe for that. So we need to set up a processing pattern. So crystalline this from the factorizer, this one. Okay, and then we do factorizer, combine, split. We want the split. Okay, so these ingots, crystalline, and let's just tell it to make like 200 of those. I don't really know how many we need. But yeah, we'll just let that run in the background. It will take those blocks that we currently have, turn them into ingots, and then we'll have plenty of that going forward. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start laying out these items, get them out of my inventory so we can see better what we have going on here. And then I think we're going to start looking at potentially automating making the rest of these runes of summer. All right, guys, so we're looking to automate our Runic Altar here. So one of the first things that we need to do is when we get all of the items on that Runic Altar, we have to do a right click using a wand of the forest. So next to the Runic Altar, I have a mechanical user with a new wand of the forest that I have made. We have this set to activate block with item on right click, and we told upper left slot only, which I don't think really matters. I think it always uses this particular slot if that's the only thing available. Anyway, so that's how we have this set up. So if we have a proper recipe set here, that'll activate it and it should start crafting. Okay, so that's the easy part. The hard part is trying to automate this. So currently we have an ME interface here, and I have an advanced item collector. And on the advanced item collector, we have an item filter, which we are filtering on a white list. Rune of Summer, this is the crafted item that we're going to be receiving, and Rune of Earth and Rune of Air, which both go into that recipe, and we get those back after the recipe completes. So we need all 3 of these back in the system to complete this recipe. Okay, so that's the item collection and the crafting, the start of the crafting. So our ME interface here, which I have not set up properly, is going to have a pattern that's going to have all of the items that we need, and it's going to say it's going to make a Rune of Summer plus a Rune of Earth and Rune of Wind, I think was the other 2. So we'll be getting 3 items back is what this pattern is going to say, and then all of the items are going to go into this chest. We have the interface set to blocking mode, so we're not going to push crafting items if inventory contains items. So we're going to push all of the items into this chest plus an additional item, and I'm going to use solidified experience this time. The reason why we're going to do this is we want all of the items that go into this crafting recipe to get taken out of this chest, put onto the altar, but we don't want another recipe back in here because it would take those items, put on the altar, and all of the items for all of the recipes that we queue up would end up right on top of that altar, and that's not good. So we're going to put 1 additional item in here so their inventory isn't empty and this interface won't push any more of the recipes, right? Okay, so we're going to push 1 recipe in plus the solidified experience, which will stay here. All right. And the items, we're going to extract everything out of that chest except for the experience. We're going to extract everything out of here. And we're going to put that into an open crate. This is where I stopped because I didn't want to do everything completely off camera. So open crate. The open crate, anything that goes into this inventory gets dropped immediately directly below it. So let's go ahead and make one of these. We need just some of these living wood planks here. And like so. Okay, so there is our open crate. So we'll place that guy right here. So anything that gets put into here is just going to be dropped on the floor. So we're going to set this to insert. And this is going to be extract. We need to get a filter on that. 1 second. So we need filter. Guess we'll just make an advanced one because it doesn't really matter. I guess we just need some kind of a filter here in order for us to not pull out the solidified experience. Okay, so there is our filter. And we'll put that right here. And we'll do solidified experience. So we have that searched. And we're going to blacklist this item. So anything else will get extracted out and put into here. So for instance, if I put in a redstone conduit and we have this set to always active, it's just going to drop down the ground. My magnet picked that up. So let's try that again. We'll put that in there, that in there, that in there. And all those items, as you can see, are just being dropped onto the ground. Exactly what we want, but it will not be pulling out the solidified experience, right? So that's going to stay in there and that's going to block it. Okay, so you might wonder why we have 62 of those in there is because I was testing this out. So the way we want that to work is after the craft completes, this is going to change how we're collecting the items. We need that to go into like a hopper, and the hopper, it needs to emit a redstone signal, and that redstone signal is going to extract the solidified experience out. So you can see we have 62 here. I have a translocator with a diamond thing on here. Now the diamond in this mod pack is a little different for the regulate. Normally you use the... Let me turn down the game volume here. Okay, so normally you use the nuggets from translocators to put that on there. Normally, when you put a diamond into your crafting grid, you would get the translocators, but you get the extended crafting ones. Well, that's not what you need. The translocator diamond nuggets aren't what you need. I had to use the OR dictionary converter thing to get these. That doesn't work. These don't work. In this mod pack, you have to use a full diamond. So you right click a diamond on there and then you get this regulate. And what regulate does is allow you to specify how many items you want into the inventory that's receiving, right? So we're saying one solidified experience. If I put a diamond here, I can keep right clicking and say we want 2 diamonds in there, or we want like, 62 diamonds, or, whatever, right? But that's not what we want. We just want one solidified experience. So what happens is if I put this redstone signal on, it's going to turn this part on and we'll get one of the solidified experiences here. Okay, so now we have 61. So doesn't matter how long this redstone signal is on, we only will ever get one solidified experience. So what we need that for is we'll pull out the solidified experience. There will only be one in here. This ME interface will be like, okay, inventory is empty. Push the new set of crafting recipes in here, and we want to make sure that we're not pulling out the next solidified experience before this is done, right? So we're only pulling out one, and as soon as we turn off that redstone signal, we have item conduit here, which is set to be active without signal. So as soon as this loses the redstone signal, it'll start extracting. Right? And it doesn't really matter what's in here because it's always ever going to be one solidified experience. So then we start extracting out of that, and that just goes back into the interface, right? So we do this, that's gone. We still have 61. We can flip this lever. Now we have 60 in here. So like we can flip this as many times as we want to. And we're only ever going to drop by 1 every single time. All right, so that part is complete. Yeah, so like I said, the next part is we do need to change this advanced item collector. That needs to be on a hopper that's going to go into our ME interface. That way we can get a redstone comparator signal off of that and be like, okay, we have items being collected. Send the redstone signal here because we're only going to collect items when the recipe's done, right? Okay. Anyway, so yeah, this is a little bit more complicated than you would think at first to get this to work correctly. But let's grab a hopper. Grab one of those. Okay, so hopper going into there. This item collector can be right here. Whoop, that's fine. And we just put that filter back in there. And I think we wanted this to be like a Y radius of 3. I'll change that if that is not correct. So the item collector grabs the completed items, puts them into this hopper, and then we need a comparator signal off of that hopper to detect when we have collected those items. Okay, so now we gotta do another block here. Let's do that plus a comparator. like so. So as soon as this gets items in here, if I put some diamonds in there, yeah, you'll see that we're emitting a redstone signal, and that's what we want this redstone signal to replace this lever that I was doing this one at a time. Okay, so now that we got that done, we just need to wrap that conduit down over into here, and we should be pretty well good, I would think. I think I do need more of the redstone conduit. Yeah, I think I was running low on that. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit more work here and try and get this in a working state so we can try it, and we'll be right back. Cool, so this should be our recipe to make our Rune of Summer. So it's going to do the Rune of Air, Earth, 2 Sand, a Slime Ball, the Condensed Flame, Blank Slate, and Melon Slice. So all of these items, plus the solidified experience to prevent the next recipe from going through, should be what we want to make this particular thing. So we are going to need some of these Condensed Flames, which do have EMC. I don't know if we have any of those. Condensed Flame. I don't think we have any of those. So let's go ahead and craft. Oh, that has to be done on... Okay, that has to be done on the special workbench. So that is chiseled stone plus searing crystal. Searing crystal. We have one, and that's EMCable, so we'll grab some of these. And then stone. I think it had to be stone. And that could be... I can't remember which... So a basic crafting or the arcane. I don't know if it has to be bricks or not. It said like stone, so we're just going to try that, and that works. Cool. So condensed flame. So here's this thing, and there is 64 of those, so that's all we need. Okay, so if we put that away, we should be about ready to go here. Now, the other thing is, I did have our dropper down here, and I didn't really explain what we were doing with that, so let's go ahead and get that hooked up. So yeah, the other items that are not, or I guess that are going down here, that are going up onto the crafting, we're going to warp up there. So I have a dislocator set to directly on top of that. So the items are going to come through our open crate here and then immediately get warped up on top of the thingy up there, the Runic Altar. It's like, what is that thing called? Anyway, so we do that, and then we're going to have draconic infused obsidian on 3 different sides here. And then the receptacle, we get rid of this block. And I don't remember if we need a block directly below, like if there's a possibility that'll fall out or not. So anyway, we'll put that block there. And then we have to put this right here. So there should be a portal inside here. And anything that goes into this open crate should be warped up there. Let's give that a try. So we'll put something, I don't know, how about one of our carrots? Well, my magnet just picked that up, I think. So we got to be careful about having our magnet on around here. Nope, the carrot is up here. The magnet tried picking it up and made the dink sound, but it still landed up here, which is great. Okay, so anything that we put in there should end up here, which is fantastic. And then we have to put the recipe, which I did not actually set. We need to put that into the interface. So let's grab that as well. Okay, and over here to our interface, right there. I think we should be good to give this a test. I think. Let's try it. Rune of Summer. We want 1. And it says that we have everything, so let's try it and see what happens. Okay, so all the items get warped up there. The crafting has started. And that is not right clicking. Okay, I know, I forgot. We need living rock on top of that altar for the right click action to work. So we need to edit this recipe one more time, and thankfully we have one more free slot. So we can put in living rock here. So that should just sit on top of the altar, I think, while everything happens. Or maybe that has to be in last. That's like the last item that gets put on there. Man, I don't know, because if we put it on there first, it might go in as part of the recipe. Maybe. I hope not. Well, we're going to try this and see if this works. If not, we'll try something else. But yeah, all of this living rock is EMC. And then I need one more to complete the existing recipe over here. So if I just drop this on the altar, it should just work. Maybe. Oh, I have this on the wrong setting. Activate block, right click. Use that. There it is. So use item on block was the one that we were supposed to use. So let's try this again. The crafting recipe, the crafting recipe shows that it has completed. So let's try this one more time. Rune of Summer. Oh, I have the pattern in my inventory, so it doesn't know about it. We'll try that. So Rune of Summer, next, start. Okay, that worked exactly as we wanted, and we can see that the living rock is just sitting on top, and then that works. Awesome. All right, let's try queuing up a few of these. Let's try doing, I don't know, 3 of them, and see if we can get that to happen. Oh, there is a big problem here. All 3 recipes went on. Why did all 3 recipes go on, I wonder? What happened here? I don't see solidified experience. Obviously, there is some issue here. Let me play around with this for a minute. So I've been sitting here scratching my head on this for a little bit, trying to figure out what's going on, why this isn't working. It worked when we did 1 at a time and whatever, but yeah, here's the problem. So the ME interface, when you have a pattern in it, it looks for any available inventory and it pushes that into it. So this chest, for instance, will get the recipe, but also this hopper has an inventory and it's trying to push items into the hopper as well. So that's where we're coming up with a problem. Now, these interfaces do have a directional ability, so they will only ever push items one way. You just have to tell it to do that. So if you grab a wrench and you right click the opposite side, you can see there's an arrow pointing the way that the items will go. So now the items will only ever go into this chest, and I think that entire problem that we're having will be solved. Yeah, I was trying to figure this out, so I tried adding in a redstone repeater here. Well, this is an advanced one to lengthen that redstone pulse that we're pulling the single slime ball out. Yeah, turns out I think it was just pushing the items into the hopper. I was looking from up here at that comparator as I queued up 3 additional ones, and like almost immediately that redstone signal turned on. So that has to be the problem. Let me make sure this is empty. Okay, so that chest is empty and we don't have anything queued up. My magnet is deactivated. If we try this again, I feel pretty confident this is just gonna work now. So we'll do 3 of these, queue that up, and what do we got going on here? So there is the first recipe, is doing its thing. And there we go, items are collected. And there's the next recipe, and it's going with the living rock. And that one's done. And finally, third one. Oh my goodness, guys, that's awesome when you get something like this all set up. Whew. Okay, so that's 3 more of these things. So I believe I needed 24 of these in total. Yeah, the problem is we don't have that many runes. So if I go in here and I tell it Rune of Summer and I want to make like 10 of these, it's gonna like complain that we don't have enough things, or maybe not. Available to craft, All right, well, let's just queue it up and see what happens. We told it to do 10. I was thinking there was gonna be a big problem here, but if this thing is just going to work, we're gonna let it just do its thing. All right, and there we go. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna try and get as many of these going as we can that we need, and we'll be back, guys. So just discovered a problem here. We went through and we crafted a bunch of those in a row, but now we're missing one of the runes for this craft. So I assume our item collector collected the item before the table here was able to pick it up. That's kind of a problem. Yep, just a little bit of a problem. Rune, which one was that? Is it the, well, I don't want to just assume. Which one is it? It's the green one or the blue one? So earth or air. And we have the green one, so we need a rune of air, I believe. And that's all in the system here. Yeah, it's all stored away. So I need to cancel this craft, I suppose. That's too bad. It was all working so well until it wasn't. So we need one of these runes of air now. Let's cue that right there. And then this living rock. Okay, so Rune of Summer. We have 20 more of those. I don't think that is quite enough. Let's take a look at what we got here. That botania area is kind of laggy for some reason. I'm not actually sure why it is. Okay, so we have 20 more of these, so we can just kind of add these to the pile. And again, I'm just going to wait until we have enough to do all 9 of these. All right, so yeah, one more change. We're actually using the comparator output of the Runic Altar, and we are detecting when the craft is complete. It emits a redstone signal of 2, so this potentiometer is preventing this comparator from outputting this comparator signal until it reaches level 2, and then we're sending a redstone signal over here to, what is this thing called? This is a vacuumulator from thermal expansion. Yep. And then we are only pulling when it has a redstone signal of high. Unfortunately, that item collector that we were using before doesn't have any way to regulate when it pulls items, and we only want that vacuuming items when the recipe completes. Yeah, not all the time. So like when we're putting items on to start a recipe, we don't want it collecting. And I think this seems to be working okay. Yeah, it's just a little bit more messy than what I like, but you know what? I'm not going to... Oh, what happened there? So that didn't emit the redstone signal to this comparator. Oh, maybe this thing clicked too quickly. It seems like everything that I try here, something causes it to break. That is unfortunate. Okay. Maybe when we get a redstone signal of 2, which would power this to start pulling items, we can also take that redstone signal and apply it to this thing to right-click the altar. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is getting a little bit more complicated than I want, but I think that would probably do it if we set this to redstone signal on, and then we do this thing here, and this thing here. This will only right-click it once we get that power of 2, which means the recipe's on and it's done processing. I think. I'm going to do some more testing. Yes, that seems to be working just fine now. Ooh, okay, so we ended up spending pretty much the entire episode working on making these ingots here, right? Yeah, so we're at this point now. We're able to make 9 of these, if everything is correct. Boop, there it is. So there is 9 crystal matrix ingots. Do we get a quest? We do get a quest complete for that. We deserve a quest complete for that, I feel like. So where are we at on that? That's on Psi right here, and we get 10 RAK for it. Was it really worth the 10? I'm not really sure, but yeah, we can take this, turn that into a block, and then before I do that, let's take a look. So the uses on this turns into a block. The uses on the block, we have to factorize or split it. Yeah, there is no way to like unblockify it. But yeah, once we have that, that's going to allow us to start getting into some crazy other recipes here. I mean, obviously we still have to make the infinity ingots and the neutronium, which has EMC. But yeah, this is using quite a few different things here going forward. Look at that crazy recipe. Huh. Anyway, so now that we have the crystal matrix ingot, we can turn it into a block. Then we can spawn that block in like we did last episode and collect a whole bunch of those. And we've reached the end of today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to leave a like on this episode if you liked it. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.